Coach, the weather was a bit sloppy, but the team wasn't tonight.
No, it wasn't, and I didn't think we were this week in practice. It's always the process of the weeks, and you're playing well on game day. And yeah, you think everybody thought we were dead to the wolves. Last week the way we lost that game, but we found a way to learn from it and build some confidence in it. We're never happy with the loss, right? But I think we grew as a club, right? And as a locker room, those losses can go either way, right? And we chose to make it a positive way. So I told those guys, game balls can go to a lot of people, but only a few guys get it, right? But I thought the whole team, was sharp and played physical football, and then for the most part, PFF, right? We got to clean up some things on special teams, but offensively, we stayed on the field. Didn't finish a few drives, but we moved the field, changed the field position, and we got into a rhythm. You might have a few 2 and outs, we can't have that many, but we didn't score on every drive, but at least they were into our third series, right? We moved the chains 3 different times, so very happy with the effort and the buy-in.
It's the most consistent effort by the quarterback as well, Nick Arbuckle.
Yeah, I thought Nick played well. I'm sure there's going to be some plays that he's going to want back when we look at it, but the first, from me seeing it from the sidelines right until I see it live on the TV, I thought he took the available throws that were there, and I thought we had a good game plan. We said we're going to have to take our low-level completions, below the sticks, and the guys are going to have to yak it up. You look at our receivers, all those guys ran after the catch, right? Had the 2 tunnel screens set up for Lavaris, one on our back end, one we're back on, towards the lake, moving the chains there. That was a big play.
Coach, obviously when it was 10-9, and the team just kept getting takeaways, kept getting chances, and even the run game getting going tonight after the fumble punch out earlier. What does it mean just to keep carrying momentum going forward, especially now with the back-to-back with Winnipeg?
Yeah, right now I just told those guys, let's just focus on 1-0. That's kind of where we're at, right? You can't look in the rearview mirror. We're 2-5. That's where we're at. Unfortunately, we stubbed our toe early. Now we got to fight our way, to the finish line. And you play your best football at the end of the year, right? You get in the playoffs. That's all you're going to ask for your football club. I was 1-7 in Montreal. I was first year coordinator, 14. And we played the Eastern Finals, so I brought that up to those guys. And it's just day to day, man. Show up to work, we get paid to do it. A lot of criticism and stuff like that. We don't worry about that stuff. We just got to worry about in-house stuff and get better.
And then with the defense, with Collaros being out for the second half, are there any adjustments made, or is it just treat the quarterback the same whether it was Collaros, whether it was Strebler in there, et cetera?
Yeah, we had our plan, and we didn't know Zach was going to play, right? So we found out, day 2 of our work week that Zach was going to play. And, we knew they're going to have a dose of Brady, right? They're going to try to protect Zach, and they're going to try to, protect Strebler to a point, just run the ball, and then he can get effective on the edge. And I thought he did some decent stuff on the edge. That's what he does. He's a good football player too. But I think our defense showed up, and they just grew together with confidence. That's the first time I ever felt like, okay, my players are they want to go. No matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is, these guys believe in each other, they want to go. And that's what great teams do, right? And we're far from that. But I felt like the confidence in the locker room kind of grew together, and that's why you get the results that you get.
Well, I was just going to say, just one more for me. Obviously, the news broke during the game that Chad is going on the 6-man list. I just wanted to know, is there anything that's changed since this week for that to occur?
Well, I think it's a smart decision, right? There's a lot of, uncertainty when it comes to that. We got to look after, Chad, the organization. We got to do right by him. We can't just force his hand, hey, let's play. We're not sure yet, right? When we're fully sure on the situation, collectively, we'll make that decision. He's willing to play. But at the same time, we're going to put him on the field when he's ready to play. And who knows? That could be week to week. But, he's working out. He wants to be there for his brothers. And then, you looked at him today, he was a great leader on the sideline. He's always around. When he's around, he makes us better on or off the field. So and when the time comes, we'll make that decision. But it's got to be collectively. And we got to, all doctors and Chad and myself and Pinball, we got to make a decision when is the right time. And we won't make that decision until it's the right time.
Ryan, is there something about Winnipeg that seems to agree with the way you guys play and the way you can game plan against them? It's 4 straight now.
Yeah, I don't know that. I think the one thing Nick did a great job. He took the easy completions, right? We say, hey, we got to have a completion game. Sometimes 2nd and 10, we're going to take a 5-yard hitch and just throw it, and we're going to yak it up, right? So thought he had a good plan. We played a little bit 4-by-1 more than we had in the past. You know, trying to attack them a certain way. So, you know, we only got to half our plays, and that's the best thing when you go back to back. You know, you got something to pull from. I didn't try to get too heavy, but there's a lot that we're gonna, you know, add to this game plan that we have already. So, yeah, I'm just happy for those players. I think it's just like just a load they need to get off their chest, right? Just winning a football game. So it's more for those guys than the coaching staff.
What'd you make of Janarian's pass?
Well, if it wasn't raining, we'd probably score a touchdown there, right? So we put it in day 2. I could see it based off our film, like, oh, they're gonna jump, you know, the screen, and we're gonna start the game with it. And they all looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, no, I'm for real. So I'm like, we're on the right hash. Here's the right hash only play, right? We're on the right hash, we're going with it. It wasn't raining that much. I said, can you make it? And he's like, I got you, coach. If it's not there, I'll throw it away. All right, well, that's the thing, is sometimes you gotta be aggressive, right? You know, find some way to add some momentum. And I think, you know, after that, I think our players kind of was like, we're in this to win it. You know, after last week, we didn't finish. Let's go from the get-go and get after these guys.
Just curious, was that your approach, kind of be more aggressive with the play calling and throwing out some more gadget plays and stuff like that?
Not really. Like, we had some of our draw stuff that we had, you know, and they were just like, just off. But, you know, I think, you know, going after stuff like that, I always try to find a trick play every week. If I can, you can't force it. But that one was clear and obvious off the film that they're going to jump it. And, you know, with JG going to his left, he can throw left-handed. So, yeah, it was just exciting to see it happen. But it was just exciting to see our players' confidence level going into the game. Even when we went down 10-9, right? After that, those guys didn't bat an eye. And very proud of their effort and just their resolve.
Curious as to the rushing game.
Rushing game's got to get better, right? And I think I looked at some stage we were like 80-some yards, but we got to be more dominant in the run game. No question about that. Like, you know, we're a pass team right now, and I don't like to be that way. I'm a Northern California guy. We like to run the football downhill, and that's when you get your shots from that. So I like physical brand of football and offense, and we got to find a way to create that identity.
Coach, Nick Arbuckle took a number of hits, some sacks there. Are you looking to clean that up? And also, number of field goals, are you looking to turn those into TDs?
Yeah, no doubt. I think, you know, Nick has some sacks there. We have a young O-line, a lot of injuries there. Doc Staler goes down day 2. Shane Richards gets off a plane. He's our starting guard. So you anticipate a little bit of that, right? Boss is playing tackle. We have him penciled in as guard. He's a young player. We're going to have some growing pains. That's part of it, but at the same time, they're younger players with a lot of youth that have a big upside, and it's up to our coaching staff to get the most out of them and develop them and build towards the future. As far as winning the next football game, that's our main focus. But we have some youth in the room. We're going to have some growing pains with them, but we're comfortable with that, and we got to find ways to get better.
How do you carry this momentum forward, especially with the back-to-back with Winnipeg coming up Friday night?
You know, I think anytime you're playing a team back-to-back, you got to think like you're playing them for 8 quarters. You know, they're going to build off of what they saw you try to do, what they had success with, and you're going to do the same. But it's just a nonstop chess match. And, you know, we had a lot of good plays out there, and there were some things that I think we can build off of. They're a good team, and we're going to have to come ready to play at their place.
And then just moving past that, obviously last week wasn't the result you want, but how did you guys as a group this week just mentally put that behind you, get ready, to especially face a Winnipeg team that was in a similar position to you coming off 2 bad losses themselves?
Just understanding we know how to get in that position. You know, it was the first time all season last week that we really got into that, building a good lead and really, you know, beating a team on the scoreboard for the first few quarters. And so we knew we can do that, and we know we're a good team, we're winners, we have a great attitude, we believe in each other. Some things just didn't bounce our way last week, but we knew we could build off of the things we did well. We could build confidence through how well we played for 3 of those 4 quarters, and just put it all together and make sure we finish this time.
Is that the happiest you've been with your 4 corners in the game?
No, I think the Grey Cup was pretty happy, but it was probably the happiest.
We're talking this
probably
year.
happiest, this year, this year definitely. You know, whenever you can end the game on a kneel down, that's the best play in football. And we did really well. We managed the clock in the fourth quarter. We came out the fourth quarter with a long 5 or 6 minute drive that ended in points. A little disappointed we did not have our usual red zone success in terms of putting the ball in the end zone that we've really done really well at in the first 6 games. And I think if we do that on 1 or 2 of those drives where it ended up in field goals, if we got touchdowns on them, we could have put it away even earlier. So just going to look on some of those things to build off of going forward.
The coach said that you were very successful in taking what they gave you.
Yeah, they're a really good defense. They play a coverage technique that allows them to maintain leverages on where your routes break, and they jump things. You really got to confirm things. A route that might win one time might not win the next, just because their DB has the ability to drive it. It's whether they did successfully or not, and that can get you in trouble if you're just trying to anticipate and hoping your guys win all the time. I think we did a good job as a group winning consistently in our routes, and then confirming things on throws and taking some sacks when things weren't there.
What has been working with you and the connection you have with Damonte Coxie? It's like every pass you throw at him, he gets in the right place.
Oh yeah, Coxie's his balance through contact is out of this world. It's like he's like an alien out there. Like he has more than 2 legs. Because wherever he gets tackled and knocked and wrapped and twisted around, somehow he still stays on his feet. And that's like beyond strength. I've seen big guys and strong guys who can't stay up through contact, and he's able to do it somehow, some way. And it's like his little superpower. So it's fun to get the ball in his hands.
The fact that you outscored them in the second quarter too, and then scored to start the third, sort of like the momentum you got at the end of the second half, you sort of continued in the third, and we're in control pretty much the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think whenever you have a lead at halftime and you get the ball back, you get the ball first in the second half, it's so important to establish a good drive. Because you don't want the other team to smell blood in the water and give them some hope like, oh, we're going to come back now. Because they're in their locker room saying, we're going to get a quick 2 and out, offense coming back on the field, we're going to score. So to be able to go out there, establish a good drive, get in the field goal range, put up points, take off like 6 minutes of the clock as well. And then, seeing how well our defense was playing through that second half, just understanding that, as long as we continue to get first downs, we don't turn the ball over, we don't help them score, they're not going to score enough points to come back with what we have. So we just played it safe, made sure we ate up the clock and got some first downs.
What is it about Winnipeg that seems to agree with this team? You're 4-0 against them,
I don't know. Maybe our RD always has a great game plan for us offensively. We do a great job on defense every time we come out against them. It seems. Hopefully we can keep it up. They're a really good team, and they played really well against some great opponents. You can never take them lightly, and you can't think that past success is going to equal future success unless you work for all the things that helped you win in the past. I think he threw the ball so well in practice. If it wasn't raining with a wet football, he has a wet receiver glove. I think that's a touchdown because he was bombing them earlier in practice. He has a great arm, and he's such a weapon. You can't help but have to defend him on the edge. So, it was a shame how wet it was, and he couldn't get the ball out there. But Coxie made a great play, allowed me to have a touchdown pass to Coxie later in the drive, like Coxie should have had in the first play.
What has it been like just building your connection with Nick over the last few weeks, having good games back-to-back now?
It's been great. Like I said, we always come to work every day to practice, try to build and stack every day and try not to look at, the past and just moving forward. So it's been great. Nick is a workaholic. He watches a lot of film. We always stay after, so the work is just showing up.
And then after last week's losses like that can be really demoralizing. How's been the mood, tone setting been for this previous week to come out with a Brazilian effort like that, especially in the weather conditions that were out there tonight?
You got to make it happen. Rain, sleet, snow, that's football weather. So, we just come out there and got to understand that we can't control the weather, but we control our effort, and, that's what we're big on.
Everyone on the team, from the coach to Nick, they're all praise you. They say you're like an alien out there. It's like you have more than 2 legs. Because they throw at you, you can catch. What has it been working for you this season that you can build on and go into the future knowing that you can be there?
We just trying to stack and build every day. Nick does a good job. He trusted me, and the old lineman blocking. You know what I'm saying? So when those plays go up, we just try to come down with them, and each week, we just want to get better, man.
Was there a sense of urgency throughout the course of the week here leading up to tonight's game?
Definitely.
Trying to get a win here and get yourselves back into playoff standing here.
Yeah, definitely was a sense of urgency. Being that, the record was with the record, we knew we couldn't come out there being lackadaisical. We had to get out there early and not only get out early but finish. Last time we got out early but we didn't finish. So today was big because we got out early and we still finished.
I mean, I just kind of want to know, like, at the start of the game, it just kind of seemed like you guys were just having fun.
Nah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, we were just having fun,
like
man. Yeah, you got to, because when you're out here, playing ball, at the end of the day, we're playing a kid game, so it's good that, the Lord bless all of us with this opportunity to still be able to play ball, so, just being that in itself, is joyful, it's thankful, so we just been grateful for these opportunities.
How long do you enjoy this, and when you start getting ready for next week in Arena?
We're enjoying it now. When we leave the building, it's on to the next. Yes, sir.
How was it with the rain? You haven't played much in the rain here on the grass. Was it something you noticed?
The rain gonna be the rain. You can't really focus on the rain too much because if you do, then you're gonna get caught up in the rain. So if you kind of tone out the rain and just focus on your assignment, the play, the job to get hand and everybody doing they want, you'll come out with some victories.
You got real grass though that you're playing in the rain. It's a little different, right?
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of different. But this is our home field, so we can't have no excuses.